can access only the parent class method, right?
Yes.
Okay, but suppose if parent class and the child class also having the same method, in that case, when I try to invoke that method, it is the child class method is getting executed, not the parent class.
Because that is the concept covered in the overriding part. That's the overriding method, right? And for that,
Yes.
the statement which you made is correct. When
Yeah.
you have when you've done that, right, and you're trying to use the parent reference to invoke that method, it will invoke the version of the child, not the parent now, because that method has been overridden. That is
Overridden. Yes.
so that
Yes.
is
Even I thought the same, that parent behavior is being overridden by the child
right.
class.
So your observation is correct, and that is what we have discussed in that class also.
Mm, yeah.
Okay. So that was the
Oh,
only question.
yeah. That.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Okay. Thank you. Hey, hi Aparna. I think good afternoon, right? It must be good afternoon there in the UK. Hope everything. I mean, you're able to watch all the recordings and you are at pace, which we are covering with Java. If you can listen me, Aparna. Okay, no worries. Okay, let's start. Let's start. Let me share my screen. Let's start with that assignment thing, right, which I shared over the Discord. Uh, so let's just take a very quick view on it. How to share? Yes. Fizla, you have been like, you're not getting time to attend the classes live recently.
Akhil, was it me whom you referred? I lost in between.
Yes, yes. I was asking like
No,
you are
actually,
not
yeah, it was the Eid one was there, right? So 1.5
okay.
class I missed, but then yeah, I watched the recordings and assignments. The first part I completed. The
Oh,
animals
great.
one that is left out. That is in progress. The
Okay,
other one I
okay,
did, the first one, reorganization, employees, and all. That
okay,
is
okay.
in my yeah, that is in my
Mhm.
GitHub, and the animals that is in updation. So I'll be updating today the second one.
Okay, great, great, great. So no questions, right, as of now, and
No,
no
no,
questions with respect to, I mean, the content we covered during the last week, right? The
no, no.
classes
I
which
just
we.
watched the recordings. No, yeah, it's fine.
Okay, great, great. Where is? Oh, I placed it in the assignment section, right? Okay, I'm just opening it up. Okay, so that everyone can understand. Let me open the browser. Okay, I'm just giving a walkthrough on the questions, right? So there is no question. I mean, there is no doubt around it. Let me zoom in, zoom it a bit. Where's the plus sign? Right. So, okay, everyone, right? So what I've done is, what I'm asking here in the question one is, I'm asking you to prepare below classes. Okay. So there are three classes: organization, employee, and admin. Okay. So organization, there are some instance variables. So couple of them are, one is int variable. I mean, data type is int, and the variable is number of employees. Okay. So it should hold the exact number of employees at any point of time. Okay. So let's say today we have 5 employees in the organization, so it should reflect 5. If there are 10 tomorrow, so number of the employees increase, it should reflect that number. Okay, and if the number of employees gets reduced, it should reflect that number. Similarly, there is an employee array which you have to create. Okay, and it will hold only employees. Okay, and inside this, whatever employees you have, whether active, inactive, right, or I mean deleted, whatever those are, everyone should be here. Okay, in the employees thing. Okay, the third thing is, like, if I want to print the there's a method print employee details all. I have mentioned in the below questions, like what you have to do inside that method. So we'll talk about that logic. So this is one class. Second class is employee class. This employee class will have name of the employee, age. Again, I have mentioned the data type against them. The third would be the salary, which is a monthly salary, right? And this would be a private field. I have very specifically mentioned it would be a private field because I don't want this to be easily accessible to outside world. Like in the normal case, right? We don't want our salaries to be exposed to everyone. So the next part is employee ID and is active. Now I have left. I have not given the access modifiers for them, right? I will leave up to you what you think is right, whether public, default, protected, whatever you want, you can place it. but you should be able to meet the agenda, right, which we have defined in the below questions. Okay, so if you think public can help you to achieve all of that, use public. If you think protected can help you, make it protected, or if you think protected is required, make it protected. But the one which is required to be private, I have mentioned it here. Okay, so there are two methods here. One is get details and get tax amount to be paid. So we have the salary for every employee, right? And if you would see, right, again, I have mentioned like what you need to do here. So I'll discuss about these methods below. There's a third class, admin class, where there is a variable, again the instance variable, which is role, which would be of type string, right? The next three methods here are like first method is get total required budget. Okay, so what you have to do again, so one is this method, second is get total tax collected, three is print tax amount per employee. Okay, so these are three methods. Now if you would see, like even organizations is talking about employees, and even admin is talking, is all the calculations here, right, are based on the employee part only. So employee class is like your main class here, I mean the core part of it, right? So organization here, right, the employee array of employee, I mean this part here, right, is referring to this employee class. Okay, and similarly when admin has to calculate these methods, right, it has to do on the basis of the values which you have here in the employee class. Okay, so let's scroll this. Check question number 2, right? So again I'm saying, so these are just the classes. Okay, these are just the classes. Here what I have to do is you have to create one organization. When I say one organization, it means you have to create the instance of this organization, right? So you will create an instance with the name as spot test, and then you have to create 5 active employees. Okay, 5 active employees, so you have to create like 5 different employees using the employee class. You know what I mean by that, right? Next thing which I mentioned is use constructor to set values of instance variable of employee class. Now this you have to see like how you can use constructor. You do not have to set the values by directly accessing the variable. Okay, what you have to do is you have to use constructors to set those values. The next question is, so this is pretty simple, right? Creating the objects and using constructors to set the values for organization and for employees. Okay, the next question is that create an admin which with the name as Rohan. Okay, so you will create an admin, the instance of admin with the name as Rohan. The next question is add the logic in the mentioned methods. So the first method is, when we talk about organization, right, we have one method which is print employee details, right, all the employee details, right? So the basic agenda is that you have to print all the details for all the employees. Okay, so you can see, right, iterate through the employee array, right? This is the employee array, so you have to iterate it through, and then for every employee you have to print name, employee ID, and age. How do you do it? I need to see that as per your solution, right, which you will provide as part of this assignment, right? Now with the employee class, you can see even employee class has a method called get details. So you can use this method also over here in the print employee details all, right? You can use that method because this method is, I'm asking again, to print the name, employee ID, and the age. Okay, the next question is get tax amount to be paid. So the logic here is that you will, for every employee, right, you will have the salary figure. So using that salary figure, you have to calculate the tax. If the salary is above 1 lakh, you have to tax the person at 20%. If it is less than 1 lakh, these are monthly salary, and then tax would be 0%. Okay, so there is a requirement to fetch the tax. Okay, for every employee, and this is the method for it. The next course method is the next sub part here is for the admin class. So all three methods here, right? All three methods here are I've mentioned like what you need to do. So the first method says get total required budget. What do you mean by budget? Let's say I have 5 employees, and for each one of them I need to pay, right? I need to pay that. I need to make the payment. So so the salary part, like if you sum it up, you get the total budget, right, which you need to run your business. So this is what you have to do. You will have to iterate through all the employees, right, active employees. Okay, and then find the salary and sum all the salaries to find the budget. So again you will have to use this, right, to find this. The next question is total tax calculated. Now there was a method in the employee class to find the tax, right, for every individual. So you have to, and in the admin class, right, the job of admin is, yet they need to do it for all the employees. So you will, as an output of this method, right, you have to give me the figure, like what is the total tax which you calculated for all the employees. The next question is print text amount per employee. This is like printing the ledger, right? I mean, the output of in a printable format. You have to give the name of the employee, right? You have to print the name of the employee and the tax which the employee needs to pay. Okay, so you will have, like, if you have 5 employees, so you will do for all the 5 employees. The next question is mark one employee as inactive out of 5. So we have our boolean value as is active, right? By default, when you're creating an employee, you would be marking it as true, right? So the employee is active. But as a part of question 5, right, out of those 5 employees, you have to mark one of them as inactive. Okay, so you will do it. You can figure it out how to do it. The next question, the last question on this assignment is invoke all the methods of organization and admin class and observe the output, right? So over in the above cases, right, we have just mentioned the logic, and over here you will be just printing them right now. After just question 6 is just to print your methods and see what is the output we are getting. So based on so this is what I will check. This is what I will check, and this is what I will base on it, right? The reasoning would base. Yes, Atul, please ask your question.
Akhil, there is no mention of package here, so there is no restriction to placing these classes.
Right, right. So what you can do is I'm leaving up to you, right? Everyone,
Mhm.
you can try it. I would recommend, right? Keep it like do it like this way. Keep one package in a default package, like no package at all. Keep the other one in some other package and keep one in the other package, right? So that you can if there are some difficulties, right, while fetching the values, you will get to know. So you can do it that way. But if you even if you keep it in a single patches in a single package also, I'm fine with it. So there is no restriction for my side. Okay.
Okay. And one question regarding making Rohan as an admin. So, do you
Hmm.
mean that we need to create an instance of admin class and name it as Rohan, or you
Hmm.
want a employee named Rohan
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
has to
Yes,
have
yes.
a role of admin?
Right. When your question is very valid. So what you should do is you Rohan is not the employee. Okay. Keep Rohan
Okay.
aside. Keep Rohan aside, and Rohan is just the admin. So he is not a part of those 5 employees.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So
Got it.
that is the part, right? So this all these 6 questions are related to this the thing which I mentioned, right? Again, the idea behind giving this assignment is that you will get to know how to create classes, how to think logically, right, and how to use arrays, how to use different access modifiers, how to use constructors, and how to do the invocations of different methods, and how to use one method inside another, right? Make the reusability concepts, like do not reinvent the wheel again and again, right? Try to use these small methods which are residing under different classes and try to achieve your output. Okay, so this way whatever we have covered till now, right, it will really, this exercise will really help you to to correct all your understanding around it. Okay, if there would be any missing gap, right? The next part which I gave was, like, purposefully I gave that part is I want everyone to, I mean, this exercise we already did in the class, right? We already did, and I showed you in the, I took the entire session for it. But okay, how can I rotate this? Just a second. Uh, okay, okay. How to flip this? I will have to download this. Just a second. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see. There is a way to flip it. No, there's a way to download this. Just a second. Minus. Okay.
Maybe try right click and save as.
Yes,
Save
you're
images.
right. Then I can do it. Yes, you're right. Let me place it somewhere. Full stack. Okay, let me place it here. Question 7, JPG image, and let me open the JPG image only. Yes. Here, right? On this question, right? What I'm asking is that I'm asking you to prepare your project like this, where you will have two packages, package one and package two.
Akhil, can
Package
you
one.
please zoom in a bit? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay, okay, sure, sure, sure.
Thank you.
Uh, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely.
I'm asking everyone to prepare the project structure like this, where you will have two packages, package one and package two. Package one will have animal class, dog class, human class. Package two will have two classes, lion and food. Okay. Here the animal class is a normal class over there, and dog class would be a child of animal, right? So you know how to do that. So please do it. Human class is a separate class. In package 2, food is again a separate class, but there is a class lion, which is a child of animal. Again, you know how to do it, so do that way. The After creating these classes, these empty classes, what you have to do is go inside the animal class and create all these four variables. Okay, these are variables, and I have given the access modifier default. Right now, what you have to do is, again, this is only the variables. If you want, you can create methods, right, getters and setters also for them, and try to see like what is their visibility around different areas of the project. But if even if you do it with the variables, I think it would give you an idea, and you would be able to fill the sheet. So what you have to do is, after creating this all the thing, right, what you need to do is you need to fill this table. What you have to do is, you have to try in the same package, same class. So we are, see, over here the animal class is the core class, and here what you have to do is, in this animal class itself, create a method, right, and try to access all these variables there, and try to see, can you just directly access them or not, without creating the object of that class. Okay. And one thing, please do not try to access it in the main method, because in the main method you would require to make everything as static. So what you should do is, do not try to access it in the main method. Try to create another method, right, and try to access it from there. Do not mark your method as static. Okay. And try to see whether how you're able to access it. Are you able to access it without creating the instance of the class? Then if yes, then ND stands for no dot operation, right? So when I say no dot, it means that you are not creating the object of the class. You are directly accessing the variable or the method, right, directly by just using the name. Okay. So try to do. If you are able to do it, put yes, yes, yes here, right, against this. So in the same class, try to access the public variable inside a method, and try to see if you can access it without creating an object. If yes, place a y here, right? Similarly, exercise you have to do after creating the instance of the class. Create the instance of the animal class and try to access it, right, inside that method, all the variables. If you are able to do it, type yes. If no, then type no. Okay. Similarly, you have to do the same exercise in the next class, which is human class, which is sitting in the same package, and try to do it here. Try to access it via non-node operation. See whether you're able to do it or not, and then try to do it by creating the instance of the class of animal, and try to access the variables here. Are you able to do it or not? Okay. Similarly, do it for the dog class, which is a child class. Okay, and do the same operation. And then you have to do the same operation using the lion class and the next class, which is the food class. Okay, lion class is again a child class, and the food class, I forgot to mention a food, but this is a food class. Okay, which you have to fill. So these are all the tables. So you can see, right, I've mentioned here, create the package in the class as shown above. Try to access variables of animal class and mention your observation in above table as with y and no, right? ND means no dot operation involved. We do not need to create instance of the class to access that item, as I explained, right? And D means that you need to create the instance of the class, right? I have given the example, like you would have to do something like this: animal A equals to new animal A dot name, right? So when you do A dot name, you are accessing it via the dot operation, right? And to do the dot operation, you need to create the instance of the class. Okay. And this exercise, the complete exercise, I have already done in our discussion, right? When we were discussing all the public access, all these access modifiers. So if anyone needs some information around it, please go back that chapter, go and see that lecture there, right? But I think this would be very straightforward. It's just that this exercise here, right, will give you a lot of insights about different access modifiers again. Okay, so please do it. And I think if you are able to successfully complete both the exercises, right, I think your basic Java is getting would be very strong, right? If you're able to achieve all of this, right, because to achieve all of this, to have the answers of it, right, it will give you that strength and the knowledge, right, which is required on the basic Java side. And we you can consider yourself that you know a lot of things about Java then. Okay. Okay, great. Any questions on these questions here which I have mentioned? Anyone? Or if you have any, right, please ask in the Discord channel. I can answer there also, right, if you look at later. Okay, when you have to submit, please submit it by next Sunday. Okay, because this week we are going to start with the collections framework, so we will be needing to do more assignments on the collection framework part now. Okay, so please try to complete this week so that I can give you next assignment on Saturday. Okay, I think we're good on this part. Let me close this. Did I close the browser? No. Okay, let's start today's session. What we have to achieve today. Okay, so agenda for today is that the one part which is pending on the OOPS concept is what we have not discussed is abstraction, and this is what we will discuss today. Now we have already covered the other three parts. Just a second. We have already covered the other three parts, which are inheritance, right? Where the parent-child relationship we have seen. Okay, we have covered polymorphism, which is a single thing taking multiple forms, right? And here we have talked about overloading and overriding. So we've already covered it. Next part is encapsulation. We also covered that part, which is the data hiding. Okay, you can remember it with the words as data hiding, where you need to create getters and setters and use private, right, instance variables. Okay, the last part over here in the concept is abstraction, and you can remember it with the keyword as detail hiding. Okay, detail hiding. So you can remember all the four concepts by these terminologies. Okay, what do you mean by detail hiding? We'll talk about this now. Okay, so this is the last concept in the OOPS which we have to understand, and I think then our understanding of OOPS are done. So what is abstraction, right? As I said, it's talk about detail hiding. Now tell me, in case in your Java, right, till the point that we have discussed till now, where do you specify the detail of your logic? Where is that component? What do we call that component as?
Inside the method.
Inside the method, right? Hey, hi Sally.
Hi.
So inside the method, right?
Yeah.
Now what we have to do is we are saying that we do not want to expose our logic, right, to the outside world, right? And because see again, if you would read the textbooks and all, right, you would find an example which is very apt to explain abstraction. uh, think of like you are driving a car and you want to stop the car. What you do, you just press the pedal, right? You press the brake pedal and it stops the car, right? And for you, that is how the car works, right? But internally, what really the car does, right, to stop the car, right, you do not care, right? You don't care. So for you, the input is just press that pedal, right? Similarly, on the abstraction side, the concept is that you know the method, right, which needs to be invoked, but you do not need to know about the logic inside, like how things are done, right? Now how do we achieve that part in Java, right? Now to achieve that thing, right, where the logic is not shown but you can just know about the method, right, is used by using two different techniques. Okay, so how Java supports it? Java says, okay, uh, although there is only one thing which is called as abstract methods. Okay, we'll talk about this, what is abstract methods. But these abstract methods, right, can reside under two places. One, under abstract classes, okay, and also under interface. Okay, so we have to talk about abstract methods, and abstract methods can reside under abstract classes or interface. What are these? What is abstract methods? This is the discussion we are going to have today. Okay, hey, hi Jaswan.
Hi,
Okay, hi,
sorry, I
hi.
couldn't.
No worries. Okay. Okay. So abstract methods, abstract classes, and interface. Right. Now, what are abstract methods? Let's first understand that part. Now, in the normal methods, right? If you would write any class, what do you really do? If I create a class like this, let's say public class animal again, right? And here you did what? Let's say you wanted to have a logic of of a eat method, right? So what we do, we create a method like this. We say public void eat, right? And let's say you provide the brackets here where you can accept the input, and then you open up the braces where you could write the logic of it, right? Right. So this is the place, right? These things, right? This entire thing is the part where your logic goes in, right? Under these braces, right? These parentheses, right? So this is the part where your logic is going in. Now, what Java allows you to do it, Java allows you to have a concept where you can avoid writing that logic there. Okay. So what you can do instead of this is you could write only the method name. You could say public void eat, right? And that's it. Here you are missing the logic here, right? You're not writing the logic here. So what are abstract methods? Now to have such kind of logic here, right? First of all, you will have to write a keyword here, which is with the name as abstract. Okay. Now coming to the definition of abstract methods. Now, what is abstract method? Abstract methods are those where you will not be providing the body of the your methods, right? You can see here, right? I have not provided the body of my method. It is just the method name. The I am not adding like this, right? I'm not providing the body of it, right? So this part is missing. So a method without a body is called what? An abstract method. Okay. So if is it clear to everyone, right, that what is the abstract method? Abstract method is someone who does not have a body. That's it. Very simple. Okay. Let me show you this first. Okay. Let me show you this first. Hey, hi Ashok.
Actually.
Hi. Okay. Not this is not the one. Uh, hmm. Java full stack workspace. Yes, this is the one. This window. Yes. Okay. Just waiting for this to. Okay, I think it's completed. Right. So let me just first make the check first. To do what is the status of my git local repo? Okay, so there is nothing to commit. Great. So let me cut a new branch for today's work. Git checkout minus v day 17. Okay, so we are on the new branch, and what I'll do is I will remove everything from here. Not the Java part. Delete, delete. So everything is deleted. Now let me create one class, and I will create one class as animal again, right? So this is my class, and what I'll do is I'm asking you to create a method. Now let me create a normal method. How do you create a normal method? You write like this, right? And you will, let's say, add a logic on this, and you will say animal is eating, right? Let's say I'm asking you to create a method without a body. So how will you do it? How will you do it? You will do something like this. You will say public, let's say void, and let's say walk. Okay. Let's say I did this. Now you can say it is complaining, right? If you write a method like this, it will say that you can see, right? I have not used these brackets here, right? I have not used these brackets here to give the logic of my method. So those are missing. And if you would hover over it, it is complaining that why are you doing this? It is saying you are missing the method body. But this is done purposefully, right? Because I don't want to provide the method body. or it is saying that, okay, either provide the body or make it as abstract. Okay, so I told you, if you want to have a method without a body, what you should do, you should make your method as abstract. Now you may be having a thought like, why do we need such case, right? Why do we really need that abstract method? What is so good about this method if you're not providing any logic inside this? We will come to that part, right? But try to understand like how we can have such a method. So what you have to do is you have to mark your method as abstract. Now there's still it is complaining. We marked what it said. It is still complaining. Why it is complaining now? It is complaining saying that you are creating an abstract method in a non-abstract class. Okay, so the rule in Java is if you want to have a method which will not have a body, first of all, mark that method as abstract, which we did, but also mark your class as abstract. Okay, so you will have to mark your class also as abstract. Right now, the errors are gone. Now the errors are gone. So the complete rule is if you want to have a method which will not have a body, mark your method as abstract. Also mark your class as abstract. Okay. Okay. Now you can see, right? You so let me write it here. So you can see the below one, right? The walk method is what? It's a abstract method. It's a abstract method. Okay. And eat method here is a non-abstract method. If I categorize into these two categories, abstract and non-abstract, so these are non-abstract methods. So non-abstract methods are those which have the body, right? Let's say. Now you can see inside an abstract class, I can have both type of methods: the ones which have the body and the ones which do not have a body. Okay, so abstract classes we can do this way. Okay, so okay, we did this, right? Let us try to create the instance of this class. Like how do we create for the normal classes, right? What we should do is let me create another class and I will term it as, let's say, jungle, right? Let's say jungle class. And here what I'll do is I'll create a main method, and this is the main method. Let us try to create the instance of the abstract class. How should I write? Ashok, tell me what syntax should I write here?
You want to create an instance of animal class?
Yes, yes.
Animal
Okay.
object name
Let's say lion, right? Equals to
is equals to new
uh,
animal.
new animal. Okay. First of all, tell me, can I do this or not? What do you think?
It's in the same package.
Get it right? It's the same in the same package, right? You're right. But can I do it or not?
But it is not extending to that class.
Which is fine, right? Which is fine. Not every class has to extend the other class.
Okay.
And it's in the same package and the class is named as public. So it is accessible anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So ideally it should work, right? As per the knowledge which we have gathered till now from day 16, right? So as of now, it should work, right? Let's
Yes.
try. If I do this, you will say it will complain. Now, what is the complaint here? We are good with the public access modifier, so class is accessible everywhere. And I can see that I have methods here which I can use it here.
I think
Okay.
because of abstract
Right.
methods, it is forcing us to do implementation of those methods.
Now, this part is wrong, right? What is happening here is the rule of Java says that if you have an abstract class, right, you cannot create the instance of that class.
Yes.
Okay. So everyone, please remember, if you have created an abstract class, right, you cannot create the instance of that class. So you cannot write a line like this. Okay. So what you should do is you cannot do it first of all, right? If you hover over it, right, you can see what it says. Animal is abstract, cannot be instantiated. Right? So you cannot create the instance of this class. Okay, fair enough. So how can I use that animal class? What good it will do for me, right? I created a class, I cannot create the instance of that class. How will I use the methods which are mentioned there, like eat and walk? How to do that?
How about using implements table?
Okay, if I use implements where, tell me. Where should I mention implements?
Public class jungle implements.
Public
That's
class
how
jungle
we'll try.
implements. Okay.
Yeah, that's how we'll try to implement the class which have abstract methods.
So what should I mention after this?
Animal.
Animal. Okay. Now there is another error. What is saying? See, the answer which you gave right now is for interface, not for the abstract class.
Okay. Okay.
Interfaces are the ones which you implement, right? So we'll come to that part. So this is not the correct answer, right? You
Extends.
cannot, right? Visualize correct, right? We will need to extend that class. Now coming to this important point, right, which Fizla mentioned. So the point here is that the abstract classes, right? First of all, you cannot create the instance of those classes, which we saw. How we can use them? You can create a normal class and extend your abstract class on it. Okay. So let me say that this is an animal class, right? Let me create another class. I'll create another class. I will not do it in the jungle class. I can do it here also, but I don't want to do it. What I'll do is I'll create another class so that I can keep it like the hierarchy there. So animal is there. So let me create the dog class, right? Which seems to be someone like who belongs to that animal class, right? Animal family. So I create a dog class. Now, what I'm saying is that abstract classes can only be extended. They cannot be instantiated. So this line should be very clear, right? We have talked about inheritance. We have talked about object creation. So what I'm saying should be very clear to everyone. So what you have to do here is you can only extend. Okay, extends animal. Right now, if you did this, right, it is still complaining. Why it is complaining now? If you would hover over it, right? So again, we followed the rule as per Java. Let's see. Let's start from the beginning. You created a method which you do not want it to have a body on. So the rule is you have to mark such method as abstract and do not provide the body of it, which we did. Now the second rule on it came as like if you have an abstract method, make your class also abstract. So we did that, right? We made it our class as abstract. The third thing we noticed that we cannot instantiate the object of this class. Okay, we understood that rule. The fourth rule is how to use this class. I said the only way to use this class is just to extend this, right? Make a child of this class. So which we did. We made a child. We made dog as a child of the animal class. But it is still complaining. Why it is complaining? It is complaining. See again the rule, right? The rule is if you have an abstract method, right, inside your abstract class, which you will have, right? Okay, we'll talk about this point also. I will talk about this point also. But let's say that there is an abstract class which has an abstract method and you are extending it. So the rule in Java is that any class which is extending the abstract class has to implement all its abstract methods. Let me hover over it, right, and see the error which it says. It says either dog class must either be declared as abstract or implement abstract method walk in animal. What does it mean is that either you make this class also as abstract, which if I do it right, then everything is good. You do not have to do anything. But again, the same problem will come. Since now dog class is also abstract, you cannot create the instance of it, right? Because it's abstract class. So again, we are not solving our problem here, but we are just extending it, right? So the again, if you have this need to be done, then this is the solution, right? This is how you can do it. But what is the exact solution to it? The exact solution is, let's say I do not want to mark it as abstract class. I want to be a normal class. So the only option here is that inside this dog class, you will have to write the logic of your abstract methods which are coming from your parent, which is animal. So which is your abstract method which is coming from the parent animal? This method, right? So if you provide the implementation of this walk method inside the dog class, which is a child of animal, right? Then this error will be gone. And then again, this is a rule again, right? In Java. So you have to do it. So what I will do next is I will just say public. I will say void. I will say walk. And I will do this. Now you can see the error is gone. Whether you leave it blank, right? What it needs is that you have the logic. Whether you do something inside or not, that is your thing. But again, if you have a method, you want to do something about it, right? So what you will do is, let's do this. So I will say public void walk, and let's say I will write here s out dog is walking. Okay, right? So we can do it. Okay. Now let's go back to the animal class, the jungle class, right? Jungle class. This is a normal class, and again I showed you that first of all we are clear, right? Animal is an abstract class. You cannot instantiate it. So I cannot write a line like this. Animal. Uh, let's say A1 equals to. Or let me write dog. Dog. Dog equals to new animal. You cannot do it because of the rules of Java, which I just explained. You cannot instantiate your abstract class. So what you can do here? We learned in inheritance what you could do, right? We learned about the casting operations, right? That you could create the instance of the child and assign it to a parent, right? Everyone, we can do it. And who is the parent here? Animal class is the parent, and child is dog. So what I can do is I can create the instance of the dog and assign it to the parent, which is animal. So what I'll do here is, right? Now, what are the methods I can access on this dog class? So first of all, this is what people who were present there, right? Tell me, it is upcasting or downcasting? We are moving from a child to a parent, right? So it is upcasting.
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 Upcasting, right? This is upcasting. So let me write here. Upcasting, right? Now, let's see what all methods we can access. Dog dot eat and walk. Now tell me, if eat, we understand, right? Eat is a method which was coming from the animal, which dog does not have, right? But since it is extending, inheriting all the assets of the parent, eat method is like dog's own class. I mean, own method, right? So that's why it should not be an issue if you use this. You can see this here. Okay. What about the other method? If I say dog dot walk here, we are able to access it. But again, which version will be called here? The version which will be called here is of the one which we have implemented in the dog class, right? Which is dog is walking. Because here you do not have any logic here, right? Okay. So this will be called. Let's try to see here. If I go to the, if I do a control and enter on it, right? See which class it opened up. It opened up the animal class, and you can see the eat method here, right? Because this is where the eat method is defined. Let's talk about this walk method. Where does it open it? You see, it opened it in the animal class, the walk method. You're seeing, see, the point I'm trying to come at is the detail hiding. Detail hiding, right? You can see, if someone wants to see here, like what is the logic implemented in the walk method, how will the person know? The person cannot know. At least from here, it cannot know. If you try to access this method here, right, where it is pointing you to? See here, it is pointing you to this method. Where is the logic here? There is no logic, right? And that is what we mean by abstraction. We intentionally want to avoid anyone to look at our logic. So we made our method as abstract and implemented it in a child class. Okay. And if someone would try to access that method, he would be redirected to this method here, which does not have a logic. So this is how your detail hiding is working in Java. Right, everyone?
Akhil, just one point.
Yeah, please.
I'm a little lost with the upcasting concept. That is the only thing I couldn't catch up in.
Okay. Actually, we covered this upcasting and downcasting in our discussion of inheritance. So for the complete overview of it, you can watch that chapter. I think it would be in the last week's one, right? But let me just tell you, right? What you can do, what we can do is in Java, right? Let me just do a refresh, very quick refresh on this. So you know about inheritance, right? That there is a concept of inheritance that you can create childs of a class, right?
Yes.
So if if I say this, that animal is my parent, right, is the parent class. So what you can do is you can create a dog class, right, which could be the child of it. And how would you do it? You would write something like this: public class extends animal, right?
Yes.
You will do this. And let's say the animal class looks like this: public class animal, right? And if let's say I have a method here, public void eat, right, and I have a logic here, and I do not have anything here, right, and there's a third class, let's say public class jungle, right, and here I have a main method, let's say, and I'm going inside it and I'm trying to create the instance of the animal class. So if I do this, animal a1 equals to new animal, we are okay with this statement, right, Ananya? We can do
Yes.
this,
Yeah.
right? This is the normal way of creating the instance of the class. So
Correct.
we all understand this part. Similarly, if you want to create the instance of your dog class, oh, I missed the dog name, right? So if you want to do it, you can do this one also. Dog a2 equals to new dog.
Dog.
This
Yeah.
is also fine with you, right?
Correct.
Right now, but okay, now first try to understand using a1 which method you can access.
Of
Eat
class.
method, right?
Yeah.
So you can do a1 dot eat. So this works here. Tell me one thing: if I write a2 dot eat, will it work?
A2 dot E. But dog is extending animal, right? So
Right, and this is the animal class which has this method.
yeah, it should work.
It should work, right? It should work. So this is also fine. Now tell me one thing: what Java allows you to do is, so this is the normal part, right? We do it this way. If you
Yeah.
look at the general statement of it, like if I write in a general syntax, the general syntax of writing this logic is you need to have a class name on the left hand side. Then you have to name the variable name which your object will have, right? And then you will use a new keyword and the class name again, right?
Yes.
This is what you do. Now you need to question yourself, like why there is a need to have class name on both the sides, right? Maybe there could be a way that you can have it only in one of the positions, and it should have sufficed, right? But there's a reason for it, right? Why you have it class name on the both the sides. The reasons are that what you can do is you can assign the instance of your child, right? Dog is a child class, right? Of whom? Animal, right? So
Right.
in Java, what you can do is you can create the instance of a dog class and assign it either to a dog or to its parent. Okay, you can do that.
Okay.
So let me write here dog here, right? So when you do this, right, what you are doing, animal is here, right, is a parent, and dog is here. You are trying to create the instance of the dog and make it behave as a parent, as an animal, right? This is what it means. Okay, and this is
Okay.
termed as upcasting. Okay, this is called as upcasting. If you do the reverse of it, you try to move a parent into a child, right? You have a parent and you want to behave it as a child, then it is called as downcasting. Okay, we have discussed in this in detail in our last week sessions, so you will get the understanding from there. But I think this should be fair enough, right? Like
Yes.
why
Yes.
we are able to write this. Okay, great.
Thanks.
Okay, great. Yeah, no worries. Just a second, huh? Just a second. Okay, let's now move to the next part. We talked about the abstract methods and all that, right? Let me do one more thing right now. What I'll do next is we discussed here, right? Not this part. Here, yes, animal class. So we discussed this thing. Did we cover that part? No. Okay. What I will do next is so public void and all. So what we have done till now is there is an animal class which is an abstract class. This is an abstract class, and I have created a child class of it with the name as dog, right? Which is a non-abstract class, right? And when I'm trying to access the walk method, which is coming as an abstract method from the animal, right? I'm able to access it using the dog class. Similarly, if I create another child class of animal with the name as cat, right? And let's add the logic there and let's see the behavior then, right? You will then realize the full potential of the abstract methods. Okay. Now see this. We have this animal class, and this is the eat method. Sorry, this is the walk method, which is an abstract method here, right? And we created a dog class which has implemented that walk method, right? By giving the logic inside this. And when we were accessing it using the walk method, it printed what? It is printing the behavior of a dog, right? Behavior of a dog. Now I'm saying I will create another class. And this time that class would be the name as cat. Okay. And it would be extending the same abstract class, which is animal. Okay. And what I will do is, again, it complains. So let me just use it from here. Implement methods, walk. Yes, do it. So I did this. Let me remove this. Now we have, we're trying to provide the logic here, and I will write here as out. Cat is walking. Okay. So I did this. Now let's go back to the jungle class. This time I will create another instance, which would be animal cat equals to new dog. Okay. Sorry, not dog, cat. I can do this, right, everyone? Because cat is a child class of animal class, right? We can do this. Now let's see. Let me remove this dog.eat. So we understand that we can access that method. Let's try to run cat.walk. Now see the use case of it, right? You have to remember only one method name, which is walk, right? And the classes which you are implementing here, right? Everyone is getting an opportunity to provide the implementation of it as per their needs. Okay. So if I run this thing, dog.walk, now see this. If I try to go to that method, right? Where does it go? It still goes to the animal class, which does not have the body of it. So the user will not know about it. Similarly, if you go back and try to run the walk method, which is coming from cat, now see this, again it goes where? It does not go to the cat class, it again goes to the animal. Again, you are not able to understand, okay, what is the logic mentioned there? Okay. See, that is the whole idea around abstraction, that you do not want to expose your details, right, to the users. That is the only part, right? But this way, by implementing this, right, you can have different behaviors and you do not want your users to know about it. Right? And for them, for the end users, what exists? Only a walk method exists, which is doing some magical things, which is sometime behaving as a dog and sometime behaving as a cat. But how does it behave? We understand this from this concept. Let's run this. So a same method giving two different outputs, right? Because of this effect, the way we have implemented this. You can see, right? Dog is walking, cat is walking. Okay, so this is about the one of the discussion which I have wanted to have on abstraction, which is abstract classes. And again, for abstract classes, our discussion started from abstract methods, right? So let us go to the drawing board again. Okay, right? So what I said is, right, we covered the abstract methods and we saw its usage in the abstract classes. So I said what? We also saw in the abstract classes what you can have. You can have two types of methods. One is abstract methods for sure. You can have it, right? Abstract methods, you can have it. But you can also have non-abstract methods, which are like normal methods. So you can have both the methods here, right? What is interface? So if I talk in terms of abstraction, right? Using the abstract class, what you can do is, what kind of abstraction you can achieve? You can achieve partial abstraction. Partial abstraction. You are not making, you have the option here in the abstract classes that you can have abstract methods and non-abstract methods. So in a way, you can achieve partial abstraction, not 100% abstraction. When every method in that thing, right, would be all abstract methods, then we will say we are achieving 100% abstraction. So when someone talks about abstract classes, right, it is not, it is a partial abstraction, right, which is not 100% abstraction. Okay, because you have some non-abstract methods also. Okay, what is interface? Interface is a substitute of abstract classes where you can achieve 100% abstraction. Okay, where you achieve 100% abstraction. So where what you will have is, you will have all the methods here, you will have all the methods here which are of abstract in nature. Okay, which are abstract in nature. So you will have all the methods of which are defined as abstract, right? So let's see this. What is interface, right? How to create an interface? Let me create an interface of car. Okay. So let me create an interface of car. What you can do is go to try to create a class, and here, right, instead of class, select interface. Okay. And let's mention here car. Now you see it is not saying class here, it's an interface. Okay, it's an interface. And let me try to create a method here. So let me try to create a method, a normal method. So how do you create normal method? Let's say public void drive, or let's say not drive. Okay, let's say drive only, right? Drive. And I will try to provide the logic inside this. I will say as out car is driving. You see, I'm trying to provide a method, a non-abstract method here, but you can see it is complaining. It is saying interface abstract methods cannot have body. Okay, but did I made it? But did I mark it as abstract? Did I say it as abstract? Okay, let me make it as abstract also. Okay, if I do this, it says you cannot do it because you are providing the body of that method, which is not allowed for the abstract method. So it is saying that you should not allow this. Okay, which is valid, right? As per our understanding, this is valid. So let me remove this. So let me write it like this. So now the error is gone. But let's say I want to have the normal method. Can I create it? How do you create normal method? Like this only, right? Public void, let's say play music, right? So car also has a music feature. So I want to play the music also. And I want to have the as car is playing music. But it is still complaining. Why it is complaining? It is complaining because interface cannot have non-abstract methods. Okay, it cannot have normal methods, which are non-abstract methods. So this is not allowed. And because of this, because you can only have abstract methods, interface provides you 100% abstraction. Okay. Now to do this, right, what you have to do is, first of all, you will have to remove this. Let's remove this. You cannot provide the body. Okay. Now you see here, right, I have not marked, I have not mentioned abstract here, but still it is allowing me to not write these brackets. And if I am writing it, right, it is complaining. So you can understand, right, what is happening here is all the methods which you create here, which you can create here, right, are abstract by nature. So whether you mention abstract or you don't mention, these are abstract only. Okay, you can see it here, right? This method also is an abstract method because here when I'm not providing the body, it is not complaining. Okay. And the second part is you do not even have to write public keyword here because all the abstract methods, right, are public by nature. Okay, in the interface. So even if you remove this public thing, right, this is same as writing public abstract. Okay, this if you write this or you just write this, both mean the same thing. Okay, because every method here, right, in the interface would be the an abstract method, and the access modifier of it would be public. Okay, so you can see, right, if I hover over it, it says modifier public is redundant for interface members. Similarly, if you hover over abstract also, right, it says it is redundant. Why it is redundant? Because as per the rules of Java, these methods are public and abstract by nature. Okay, so we created two methods here inside the car interface. Now, what we can do with this interface? Can we create the instance of the interface car? Let's try to do it. So let me keep it separate. Let me get a package actually. Package one, so that I can keep things aside. So let me place this here, the refactor, and let me get another package. With the name as package 2, and here I will place all these things inside the package 2. Okay, so my code will look clean. Okay, refactor, right? So let me close everything now. Close all tabs. Let's talk about only the car interface, and let me create a class named as road. Okay, road. So I create a class as road, and inside this class, okay. So first, let's try to create the instance of our interface. Can we do it? Let me create it. Let me open the right split. Open right split, and here, if you would see, we have two methods: drive and play music, right? And this is the car. And if I try to create the instance of it, new car, and this, it will not allow you to do it. Similarly, like for the abstract classes, right? You cannot instantiate, and same is the rule for car. You cannot instantiate this. If you would hover over it, it says car is abstract, cannot be instantiated. Okay, so this is the problem here. You cannot instantiate. So what can you really do with the car class? What can you do? Again, you may think, okay, you need a class which will implement this, which will provide the logic to your methods which are coming from the car interface. So you need a class, but will that class be a child of it, or how does it, how will that work? Let's try to use the same concepts as we discussed for the abstract classes, right? So first of all, let's remove this. Let's create a car manufacturer as Maruti. Let's try to do this. So what I'll do now next is I'll create a class, a normal class as Maruti. Who is sending me emails? Okay, just a second. Okay. Plan traveling. Hi, buttons. Okay. Okay, we have public class Maruti, right? And let's say that we want to extend our car class, right? Let's say we want to do it. I mean the car interface, right? Let's try to see, can we do it? Extends car. Let's say this. It complains. Maybe it is saying that you have not implemented the method. Maybe that is the reason it is failing. Let's see that. It says class Maruti must either be declared abstract or implement abstract method drive in car, or implement abstract method drive in car. Okay, let's say implement methods. Will it still work? You see, I worked according to it, right? What it said, it said that either please implement the method, right, or mark your class as abstract. So it was saying either mark this class as abstract, right, or implement the method. I, so see here, right, if any, even so first thing which I did was I implemented the methods, let's say, right? So you can see both the methods are came from car, and you can see it here, right? But it is still complaining. You can see car is still showing that red thing, right? Okay, now if I remove this, or let me just make it as an abstract. Let me make it as an abstract, like the other option, abstract, right? It is still complaining. But in case of abstract classes, this was not the case. There, whether you extended class or you mark your class as abstract, right? Using either of the two, your problem was getting solved. But here that is not the case. So the answer to our problem here is the way interface needs to be consumed is you do not have to extend them, first of all. Instead of doing the extension, there is another concept in
Implements.
Java, implements. So what we'll do is we will say implement here. Okay, and now it is saying when you implement a interface. So first of all, in Java, what you can implement only interfaces. Okay, so if you have an interface which you want to consume, right, the only option you have is you will have to, in your class signature, right, you will have to add a keyword as implements and then use the name of that interface there. Now when you do this, you get an additional responsibility as that class to implement all your abstract methods coming from that interface. So now if you now the you have the responsibility to implement both the methods. Let me implement it using the shortcut here, right? You see the errors are gone. Let me remove this override part. Okay, now you can see the error is gone. So try to understand this in this context, right? We created a car interface which only has abstract methods. How to use that interface? What you can do is you can implement that interface by writing implements keyword and then use that class name, right? As we did. But as soon as you do it, you get the responsibility to implement the methods coming from there. Okay, and you can write it here. So I said Maruti, right? So let me write here. S out. Maruti is driving. Okay. Similarly, S out. Maruti is playing music. Right? We can do it this way. Now let's create another class. Okay. First, how we can use it, right? If you go to the root class, just do it this way. Just say Maruti. Maruti M1 equals to new Maruti. You can do this. Everyone, this is fine, right? We are okay with this, right? Maruti is a car. Maruti is a car here, right? So you can do this. Can you also do this? So again, okay, let's talk about the car. We knew that we cannot do this. We cannot do this new car because car is not a class. Car is an interface. So I cannot do this. So this is a restriction on me. But what I can do here, right? Try to understand here. Car is like an is again like a parent, right? To your Maruti. So what you can do is you will do something like this. Car, let's say Alto equals to new Maruti. Okay. So again, here also the same rules are getting applied. This is like your child thing, right? And this is like your parent. Okay. You're trying to create the object of your child and assign it to a parent. But remember, we are not using inheritance here. This is not called inheritance. Okay. We are trying to consume the. So there are two ways in Java. If you want to have additional capabilities obtained from some other classes or interfaces, right? What are those two ways? One way is that you can create a parent child relationship by using the concepts of inheritance, where you will use the keyword as extends, right? The second concept in Java is how your class can have additional capability is you can implement the interfaces on your class, right? So in that way also your interface is more like your parent only, right? But again, try to understand it is not coming from the inheritance concept, but that interface is like is someone which is giving you some additional capability, right? So you can see, right? So this is my interface and this is my class which is implementing that interface. So adding to the rule which we have learned till now, let me add some new rules, right? On this part which I was explaining to Ananya. If you look at this keyword, right? This complete thing. We know this from the day one, right? If you have to create the instance of a class, you do it this way. Let me now elaborate in all the cases how things are happening. Let me just create the new instance. Now let's say if you have only one class and you want to create the instance of it, how you do it? Let me first write the general syntax. Class name T1 equals to new class name, right? In both the cases, the names are same. So let's say if I have a car class, right? A normal car class, or let's say car only, right? If I have a car class, okay, let's take the case one. So case one is we have only car class. So this is a class. So if it is a class, how you can get the instance of it? You can keep car here, C1 equals to new car. So no issues on this. It works, right? We understand this rule. And here you can see both the places, the name of the class is same, right? Car and car. The second case, if you have the concept coming from inheritance, where you have a parent and a child relationship, right? Let me say my parent is car and my child is Maruti. And I'm not talking about abstract classes right now. I'm just talking about normal classes, right? normal classes. So both the classes are normal classes. This is a normal class, this is a normal class. So what you can do is, you can also, first of all, you cannot do this now. Oh, sorry, you can do this. Car C1 equals to new car. You can still do it because this is a class only, right? So you can do it. You can also do this. You can say Maruti C1 equals to new Maruti. You're allowed to do it because these are normal classes. But here you can do an additional thing. You can say car C1 equals to new Maruti. So this is what I was referring to as upcasting. You are creating the instance of a child, which is Maruti, right, and assigning to a parent. So we have seen this, right? So this was case one, and this is for the case two, where all three combinations are possible. Let's take the next case, case three, which is about the abstract classes, right? So what you will have is, you will have your parent-child relationship again, because here it follows the inheritance concept, but this time your parent would be an abstract class. Okay, so car is an abstract class, and here you have Maruti again, which is a normal class. So what you can do here is, you will say, if you try to do this, car C1 equals to new car, it will complain. So this will not allow. In the above case, this was allowed, right? Because it was a normal class. But since car is an abstract class, this is not allowed. What is allowed? You can create the instance of the Maruti car. New Maruti. This is allowed. Again, because Maruti is a class, we can do it. But what is also allowed is, you can create the instance of your child, which is Maruti, and assign it to your parent, which is car here. So this is allowed, right? So remember, if you see this class name on the left hand side, there is a meaning, there's a purpose that they exist there, right? Because you can have different values on the left hand side and right hand side. And in which cases can you have? I'm just trying to explain you that. The last case, the interface part, what you can do. This is the case 4, where your parent, or not, let's say that you have an interface of car, which is an interface, right? It's an interface, and you have a class which is implementing that interface, and is named as Maruti. So this is one class which is implementing it, right? Implementing class. Okay, so here the concepts are, you cannot do car C1 equals to new car, because car is not a class here, it's an interface, so this is not allowed. But you can still do Maruti C1 equals to new Maruti, because Maruti is a class there, so this is fine. But you can also do what? You can say car C1 equals to new Maruti, right? So we can do it. So what is special around it, right? This case here, which is in the normal inheritance tree, parent-child relationship, both are normal classes. In case of abstract, again this is allowed. You can see this. Car is a abstract class and Maruti is a normal class. So you can see this behavior there. Similarly, if there is an interface and a class involved, you can again have a similar kind of a concept, right? Where car is the interface and Maruti is the class, right? So if you see these behaviors, right, somewhere where left and right are mismatching, so you have to understand. So either of these three cases would be there. Either it would be a direct parent-child relationship. I should not use the word direct, but it should be like a inheritance concept, right? Second thing is, one could be an abstract class, another could be a normal class. Or the third way would be, someone would be a interface, another would be the implementing class. Okay, so all the three probabilities, right, you should be knowing. The possibilities you should be knowing, in which cases you may see such a pattern. And if you remember about Selenium, I'm sure like a lot of guys have already done it. The first line which you write in your Selenium code is, you write something like this. You write WebDriver WD equals to new. Let's say you want to work with Chrome browser. You write this only, right? You can see, right? Here also you have left side something else, right side something else. What is happening here? So this is the part which is happening here. Right hand side is your class. This is your class, and WebDriver is an interface. So Chrome driver must be implementing the methods coming from the WebDriver interface. That's why you can write this. Okay, I hope this example will give you some more better understanding around it. Okay, Okay, great. Right. So we understood what is an abstract method. Abstract method is something which will not have a body. Who can have abstract methods? There are two things in the world, in the Java world, which can have abstract methods. What are those? One is abstract class, and uh, other is the interface, right? Okay, what is the difference between the two? Now, abstract, right? It's still a class, but you have to mark a keyword as abstract if you have a abstract method inside it. Okay. The second part, you cannot instantiate that abstract class. Okay, and that abstract class can have both kind of methods, abstract and non-abstract. When it comes to interface is 100% abstraction. You can only have abstract methods there. Okay, how to consume them? The abstract classes can only be extended. Okay, you cannot instantiate them. So when you extend them, the class who is extending it has the responsibility to implement the methods coming from that abstract class. Okay, and similarly for the interface, right? When you define an interface, the class which is implementing that interface, it gets the responsibility to implement all the methods coming from that interface. Okay. Okay, so these are the different rules, right? And again here also, right, let me show you this behavior again. Let me say alto dot drive, right? If I try to access this, where it should point me to? Should it point me to the car class or the Maruti class, or the Maruti class or the car interface? Right, let's hover over it. You can see, right, it pointed to me where? To the interface, right, where the body of the method is not there. So again, the detail hiding is happening. You cannot know what logic someone wrote to see your method. Okay, everyone. So this is how the abstraction works in Java. This is how you implement, you can achieve data detail hiding. Okay. Yes, Fizula, please.
So all the abstract methods will have to be implemented, right? I'm sorry, extended. Suppose a class
Yes,
has got 3 or 4 abstract methods, all will have to, I mean, extend it out, right? In the child one.
right. You're right. You're right. And let's say that you don't want to do it. Let's say you don't want to do it. So the only option you have is mark your class, the next class also as abstract. Okay,
As abstract.
right. And what you can do is, let's see this. Let me do one thing. We have this package, right? What was the name? Animal, right? So animal was the abstract class. Let you can see, right? We have one method which is abstract here, right? Let me make one more abstract method. So I will say abstract walk, eat, walk, let's say sleep. Okay, so this is also the abstract method. Now, what I can, if you would go to your dog class, right, it will start complaining. It is saying that you are trying to extend the animal abstract class, but you have not implemented one of the methods which is an abstract thing there, right? Because we just added a sleep method which is an abstract and is not implemented. That's why it is complaining. But let's say I don't want to implement this. So what you can do is you can simply mark it as abstract. Okay, and now your problem is solved. Okay, one little problem. What is this? Oh, I did this way, right? Because now you marked your class as abstract, you cannot instantiate it. Right? Now, what you can do is, let me show it here. So what I'm saying is, you have animal class, animal, which is an abstract class, right? You created another class, I mean, child of this animal class, which is dog, and you said, I don't want to implement both the abstract method, which is, let's say, walk is there was right, and sleep was there. As part of the dog thing, right? You implemented what? You implemented only the walk, right? And you did not want it to implement sleep. So the only option you have is you can again mark your class as also abstract. Now, what is the option you have? You cannot, because this is an abstract class, you cannot instantiate this. What can you do? You will have to create another child class which would be a child of dog. Let's say, what is the bulldog, right? Let's say this is a another subcategory, right, within the dog. Let's say this is a proper class, let's say, right? Now, what this bulldog has to do? If you look at the animal class, we had three methods, right? Walk, sleep, and eat, right? So eat method was implemented here, and these two were missed out. When you created a new class which you extended again, right, and you marked that class also as abstract. So, but here, right, you gave the implementation for the work, but what is pending is sleep, right? When it comes to bulldog, which is an child of the dog class, what is the responsibility left for the bulldog? The responsibility left is only for the sleep method, which has never been implemented in the journey. So if you try to create the bulldog, right, what method is missing? Only the sleep method is missing. So it can only implement this and let it be a class only, right? And let it be a class. You do not have to mark it as an abstract class, right? You have to understand that why there is no need to implement walk method, because the parent of it has already implemented, right? And since you're extending it, you're getting that method from them. So you do not want to extend this. You do
Can I
not want.
override it? Suppose
You
I
want
want
to. Yes, you can.
override
You
work
can do that.
method.
You can do that. You can do that. That is perfectly fine. Okay, but I'm just trying to explain you the rules around Java. Okay,
Yeah, I got it.
so let me just show it to everyone. So see everyone, right? We have this animal class, and okay, we have only walk. Just a second, what I did. Okay, this is not the animal class. This is the animal class, right? So we have one method which is a non-abstract method, and the body exists. And there are two methods for which we have not specified the body in the animal class, animal abstract class. What I'm saying is I will create a new class, dog class, which will extend this animal abstract class. So you can see I did that, right? If I remove this abstract, so this is what it looked like. But now it is complaining that Akhil, that you have implemented one of the abstract method. Where is the other one? Which is the other one? The sleep method. It has not been implemented. But let's say I don't want to implement it. What can I do? What is the option which I am left with? Either I have to implement. So if I do that, the error will be gone. But let's say I don't do it. So the only option you have is you will have to make it as abstract. Okay. But as soon as you make your class as abstract, you cannot instantiate that class. So the only option is, let's say that I will create a new class here, which would be a child of this dog class. Let me create a new class. Let's say bulldog. Okay, bulldog, and I will say extends dog here, right? Extends dog here. Now you can see here it is complaining. It is saying dog is an abstract class and you are not implementing the method. And how many methods it should implement here? If you look at the complete hierarchy, things started from the animal, which is extended by dog, and you created another class inside dog, which is bulldog. So in a way, this is the hierarchy, right? Right from animal to dog and then to bulldog. Now, what are the methods which have already been implemented? The eat method was already implemented in the manual class. The walk method is implemented in the dog class, and the sleep method is the one which is not implemented yet. So if you provide the implementation here, everything is sorted. So what you can do is, if you see, right, if I click on implement method, right, it will not add two methods. It will only add one method, which is what? The sleep method. You can see, right, it is only showing me that option. You can do this and everything is happy. But let's say that it was a direct child of animal. Then in that case, you would require to implement both the methods, right? You can see both the methods were required to be implemented. But since bulldog is a child of dog class, there is no need to implement this walk method, right? I can remove it and I'm happy with it. See, try to play with this, right? You will understand better. But in your hierarchy journey, right, if some of the parents, right, have already implemented the abstract methods, right, in them, so the child is skipped, right? The responsibility from the child is skipped and they don't have to implement it, I mean, as per the rule. But what they can still do is they can override that behavior if they want, right? As per the concept of overriding in Java. So what I can do is, my, like, the parent here dog already has that walk method implemented, right? But I will still implement a new version of it. So I will say public void walk, and I will say here s out bulldog is walking. Okay, right, Fizula? You understand this part, right?
Yeah, I got it. I just had the doubt. Yeah, understood.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, great. Okay. Okay. One last thing which I want to mention for today is about this thing, right? About the abstract classes. Let me make some comparison here. Abstract classes and interfaces, so that it stays with you, right? You understand this all this. So this is abstract classes and this is interface. Now abstract classes both can have what? Abstract methods. Both can have abstract methods. So even abstract class can have abstract methods, and even this can have abstract methods. So this is valid for both of them. So both of them can have it. Abstract classes can also have non-abstract methods, but interface cannot have that, right? So this is not applied from them, right? This is not possible in the interface. Abstract classes, right, can only be extended, and they can't be instantiated. You cannot create the object, right? So this part is also true for this, right? This is true for here, right? This is true here. What about this? So this is not valid. You cannot extend your interface. What you can do? You can implement your interface. You have to implement the interface. Okay? To implement the interface. Okay. Okay. In Java, how many classes a class can inherit? I told you in the inheritance class, right? A single class in Java, right, can only inherit from one parent. You cannot have multiple parents in your Java. Java does not allow that. Multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java. Okay, so it is not allowed. So how? So let's say that I have a class. Let's say the child class, right? Let's say we're talking about what? Animals, right? So animal is an abstract here. Let's say here animal is also, in the second case, animal is an interface. Let's say. So in the first case, right, what you can do, and let's say there are more abstract classes. Let's say animal or the car also, right? Car is also an interface. The abstract class, and the other case, car and animal would be an interface. Let's say, right? So I told you multiple inheritance is not allowed. Multiple inheritance in Java is not allowed. So if there is a class, let's say dog class, right? And if we want to have that dog class to receive the abstract methods coming from animal and car, so I cannot write like this. I cannot say animal and comma car. This is not allowed in Java because multiple inheritance is not allowed. Okay, so there is a bottleneck that because of this rule, any class can just extend only one class. So this it can have only one parent, right? Like this or this. So that is what you have to decide, right? But in case of interface, a single class can implement n number of interfaces which they want. So here, if I create a dog class here, right, it can implement animal, car, and whatever interfaces I need, right? I can keep on adding them, and there is no limit to it. But now, as part of this, right, if this is a normal class here, right, what is the responsibility of dog? It will have to implement all the methods coming from these interfaces. But I am sure that if you would have used something like this, you're already aware about it, and you wanted that thing to be done. But to try to understand, multiple inheritance is not allowed, but multiple interfaces, right, can be implemented in a single class, right? Implementation allowed. Okay, and abstract classes and interfaces, right, are a way for your detail hiding, right? The concept of abstraction in Java. Okay, one last thing, one last thing, right, about abstract classes. So we talked about that abstract class can have both abstract methods and non-abstract methods. Non-abstract methods, right? So abstract methods and non-abstract methods, right? Okay, so this is case one, that it will have both the things. Let's say, can a abstract math class can only have abstract methods? Yes, true. It can have that, right? And you can still mark your class as abstract class. What about if I create only non-abstract methods, like the normal methods? If I create non-abstract methods and still mark my class as abstract, right? Will that work? Let's see. I'm not very sure. I think it shouldn't. It should allow that, but let's see. Uh, where is this class? Animal here, right? So you can see, right? This is the this is the method which is non-abstract method, right? And both of them are abstract methods. Let me remove them and see whether I can still mark my class as abstract. Yes, I can do it, right? So as per the rules of Java, you can still mark your class as abstract even if you don't have an abstract method inside it. Okay, so please remember that part also. Okay, so all the three cases are possible. Our abstract class can have both abstract methods and non-abstract methods. It can only have abstract methods, or it can only have non-abstract methods. So every possibility is allowed. Okay, but in case of interfaces, what is allowed? Only abstract methods. And by default, every method is abstract. So that's why you don't have to even write public and abstract there. Okay. Okay, I am done from my side today. I think this is what abstraction is about. Yes, Fizula, please.
What's the real life actually use case of both? When to use interface, when to use abstraction?
Okay. Okay. Let's think about it, right? When you are using interface and abstract, right? See, there are, first of all, there are different patterns which uses these concepts, but we will talk about them in the design pattern classes, right? But let me just tell you on the overall side, right? Uh, let's take a real, a real time example. Let's say there is a guideline body. Let's say uh, a body which looks at in the manufacturing of the cars. Okay, so let's say there is a world car organization, okay, which lays down the rules, right, or which lays down the template for the car manufacturer. So what they do is they just set the guidelines. So what they say is that if someone wants to manufacture a car, then they need to provide at least these capabilities in that car, so that that object there, right, which they manufacture can look like a car. So let's say they say that, okay, a car, if someone wants to create a car, our guideline is that it will have a feature of driving. Okay, great. It will have a feature of, let's say, seats, let's say, right. It will have a feature of tires. Okay, it will have a feature of engines, right? So it is just the guidelines, right? Now let's say world car organization, they created the guidelines and they just posted it on their on their website. Now the vendors like let's say Maruti, Rolls Royce, right, Ferrari, right, all of these wants to create car, right? So but they are all they all have to follow the guidelines, right, which the central organization has placed. But what the central organization said is that you should have these features, but they are not telling what how that feature should work, right? Or what, because that is the USP, right, of everything, right? Maruti, when they have to design a car, right, they will design the car as per their needs, as per their technology, right, as per the skill set which they possess, right? The quality of the engine will depend, right? A Ferrari would be adding a engine which is as per their best understanding, right? And the way which they want to implement, it would not be same as what Maruti is implementing, right? So in a way, what is happening here is the implementation, right, of those features has been left out for these companies, right? But as a world car organization, right, over there, they just laid down some foundations, some basic things, right, which a car should have. Similarly, the interfaces and abstract classes can be used. So we can use these interface and abstract classes like a guidelines, right? So if I talk in terms of Selenium again, right? What is WebDriver? I told you WebDriver is an interface. All the methods which you use in Selenium, get method, get which is to fetch the URL, let's say find elements, and all the other methods. I don't remember the specific methods there, but there are different methods which have been defined in the WebDriver interface. But it is not providing the logic of how to run them. What kind of logic those methods will have. It is leaving them to the experts, right? Which is like for Chrome browser, they have created a class Chrome driver, right? And a developer would have set and they would have looked into the Chrome, like, okay, how to interact with the Chrome, and they would have wrote the logic there. Similarly, a developer on the Firefox would have written the logic, would have first implemented the interface, and would have wrote all the logic inside those methods, right? And so what is happening with this case? You have set a common benchmark for everyone, right? For all the drivers. Now you have a lot of commonality, right? Across all the implementing classes, because all these classes have same methods. You do not have to remember new method names for every implementing class. All these classes will have same methods name. A get method is available in all these classes because that is what you got from that guideline. Okay, and similarly you will find that logic wherever you can fit in your framework when we will discuss. Okay, but seeing the concepts of WebDriver and the Chrome driver and Firefox driver, it will start making a lot of sense, right, Fizula?
Yeah, no, got an understanding. Yeah, thanks for that.
Great. Okay. I do not have anything else. If someone wants to ask something, please. Okay, great. I think, okay, again, just I'm repeating myself. I have, in the starting of today's session, I have explained the assignment which I have given. Whoever missed it, please watch the recording of that initial phase. And the deadline for that assignment submission is this Sunday. Okay, please look at those questions. If you can look at that recording, right, which will be available today, and try to solve them, right. And it does not require any new skills. The skills which we have learned till the, I think, previous week, right, is all required. So please use them and try to provide me the solution, okay, by the Sunday. And let's meet tomorrow then. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining today. Let's meet tomorrow and let's explore a new topic tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye. Good night.
Good night. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Akil. Bye.
Bye.